cream to finish the happy occasion.
Right. Celebrated. 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 Go ahead.
The family celebrated the birthday of their 12 years old son. They had a cake with 12 candles and ice cream to finish the happy occasion.
Of their 12-year,
12-year
old son. They had a cake with 12 candles and ice cream to finish the happy occasion. Occasion. Well,
The family celebrated the birthday of their 12-year-old son. They have a cake with 12 candles and
12 candles.
and ice cream to finish the happy occasion.
Location? Ocean? No. Location. Location, site. Location, site. Ocean, sea. Ocean, sea. This is occasion. 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 Occasion.
The family celebrated the birthday of their 12-year-old son. They had a cake with 12 candles and ice cream to finish the happy occasion.
Exactly. Very good. Go ahead.
The family celebrated the birthday of their 12 years old son. They had a cake with 12 candles and ice cream to finish the happy occasion.
Right. The happy occasion. Very good. Go ahead.
The family celebrated the birthday of their 12 years old son. They had a cake with 12 candles and ice cream to finish the happy occasion.
Right. Very good. 12-year-old son. How old is their son? He is 12 years old. He is a 12-year-old boy. How old is he? He's 12 years old. A little different there with the S and no S. Go ahead.
The family celebrated the birthday of their 12-year-old son. They had a cake with the 12 candles and ice cream to finish the happy occasion.
Right. 12 candles and ice cream to finish the happy celebration, the happy occasion. Occasion, yes, it was his birthday, and we celebrated as a group. Any questions about this? Celebrate, to make a big happy deal about something. You can celebrate the end of the class. You can celebrate me leaving for Hong Kong. You can celebrate a lot of different things. You can have a party, celebrated the birthday, the day he was born, but it was his birthday. Oh, is it your birthday? Oh, happy birthday. So they're a 12-year-old boy, their 12-year-old son. They had a cake with 12 candles, 12 candles, and ice cream. Ice cream? Dairy Queen? Ice cream? Ice cream? To end the happy occasion, to end the birthday party, to end the celebration. wanted to say 12 years old son with an S. No. Just the way it is. How old is the boy? The boy is 12 years old. Do they have a son? Yes, they do. They have a 12-year-old son. How old is the son? The son is 12 years old. It depends on how you're using it. In this case, you're referring to one person, the son. 12-year-old son. Not a 12 years, well, I mean, if you say it, people are going to know what you mean, but it's not correct. 12-year-old son. No S in this way, the way it's written here. But if you said, the son is 12 years old. That's right, yes. Just the way it is. There's a lot of things in languages that's just the way it is. You can change it, but you'll be the only one using it. Because that's just the way it is. 12-year-old son, how old is the son? He's 12 years old. You tell me. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Very clear.
Very clear.
Very clear.
Are you tired?
We have a new focus. Everything is so clear.
Oh, as stupid. You try to teach.
All right.
Vì ai rồi mình nhìn đó. Bây giờ quan hệ thì còn xin thì mình nhìn. Đểที่เชื่อเราไม่ใช่มนุษย์น่าจะมนุษย์เราไม่มีในสมประกอบ
มี
เรา
ยาอยู่ข้างๆเลย
เอาไว้จะรู้ตัวเองโอ้เอา
อยู่ข้างๆได้ไม่เยอะหรือเป็นสิ่งที่มาใ
See what happened. The candles were lit with a lighter. And the boy was invited to blow them out. He did so with one breath. And everyone applauded. Everyone applauded. Applauded. A-P-P-L-A-U-D-E-D, applauded. The family then enjoyed the cake and ice cream. The family then enjoyed the cake and ice cream. Go ahead.
The candles were lit with a lighter and the boy was invited to blow them out. He did so with one breath and everyone applauded. The family then enjoyed the cake and ice cream.
Right, very good. He did so with one breath. and everyone applauded. The family then enjoyed the cake and ice cream.
The candles were lit with a lighter, and the boy was invited to blow them out. He did so with one breath, and everyone applauded. The family then enjoyed the cake and ice cream.
Very good. Everyone applauded. Go ahead.
The candles were lit with a lighter, and the boy was invited to blow them out. He did so with one breath, and everyone applauded. The family then enjoyed the cake and ice cream.
Right. Very good. Invited. Not writed. Invited. The paint is white. He was invited. Everyone applauded. Go ahead.
The candle were lit a lighter, and the boy was invited to blow them out. It is so with one breath, and everyone applauded. The family then enjoyed the cake and ice cream.
Everybody seems to understand ice cream. That is great.
The candle were lit with a lighter, and the boy was invited to blow them out. He did so with one breath, and everyone invited. The family then enjoyed the cake and ice cream.
Good. Everyone applaud. Go ahead.
The candles were lit with a lighter, and the boy was invited to blow them out. He did so with one breath, and everyone applauded. The family then enjoyed the cake and ice cream.
Right. The family then, after he blew out the candles, then enjoyed the cake and ice cream. Go ahead.
The candles were lit with a lighter, and the boy was invited to blow them out. He did so with one breath, and everyone applauded. The family then enjoyed the cake and ice cream.
Right. Very good. Boy was invited to blow them out. Go ahead.
The candles were lit with a lighter. Oh, sorry. I
Is that right?
She first.
Go ahead.
The candles were lit The candles were lit with a lighter, and the boy was invited to blow them out. He did so with one breath, and everyone applauded. The family then enjoyed the cake and ice cream.
The family then enjoyed the cake and ice cream. Applaud. Go ahead, your turn.
The candles were lit with a lighter, and the boy was invited to blow them out. He did so with one breath, and everyone applauded. The family then enjoyed the cake and ice cream.
Right. One breath.
Bread.
Breath. Breath.
Bread.
Applauded. Applauded. Yeah. So they had the cake and they had the candles and they took a lighter, click, 12 times to light the 12 candles lit with a lighter. They were made to burn. They were lit with a lighter. And the boy, the 12-year-old boy, was asked or invited to blow out the candles. Blow them out. He did so with one breath. It didn't take him 20. No, one breath. And everyone, wonderfully did it with one breath. They applauded. When you see an act at a show or something, a singer perhaps or something like that, everybody, they are applauding. Applaud. Thank you for applauding my performance. Praising. You're praising the performance. You're saying, oh, that's wonderful. And how do you express it? In the world today, you clap your hands. They are applauding the performance. In this case, he was applauded, he was congratulated because he was able to blow out the 12 candles with one breath. The family then, after the candles are out, they cut up the cake to everybody gets a piece and ice cream as they enjoy the cake and the ice cream. Applauded, congratulated, and what it implies is a sound, and usually the sound is the clapping of the hands, or wah, wah, yeah, wah, wah, great, fantastic, wah, wah. Applauded. Applauded. After the performance, when the singer was finished, the audience, the people listening to the performance, all applauded. They gave him, if they all stood up, they would give him a standing ovation. You can sit down and applaud, or you can stand up and applaud if it's really, really, really good. Standing ovation. Any other questions? Okay, tomorrow is the next class.
See, next week.
Oh, you mean you won't be here tomorrow?
Congratulations.
Okay. Good. Well, we'll see you in a week. Have a safe trip. Have a safe trip.
Have a safe trip.
So you're going to China, right? Safe trip.
Apple swishy.
Writing friends and United States. Actually, yesterday on the knees, drawing and binding UN's resolution on the transfer of Syria chemical weapons to international control.
Yeah, very good. Western, western. Like west, turn, western. Western, west, turn. West, turn. Western powers push for tough resolution on a side. In other words, the Western powers are not going to be easy. They're going to be difficult and tough. Paris. The story emanates or begins in Paris. Britain, France, and the United States agreed yesterday on the need for a strong and binding UN resolution on the transfer of serious chemical weapons to international control.
Strong and binding.
Strong and binding.
Binding.
Go ahead.
Western power passed for touch resolution on Assad, Paris, Britain, France, and the United States agreed yesterday on the need for a strong and binding UN resolution on the transfer of Syria chemical weapons to international control.
Yeah. Very good. Wow. Yeah, that's very good. You got it. Western powers push for tough resolution on Assad. Paris. Britain, France, and the United States agreed yesterday on the need for a strong and binding UN resolution on the transfer of serious chemical weapons to international control. Go ahead.
Western powers push for tough resolution on Assad. Paris, Britain, France, and the United States agreed yesterday on the need for a strong and binding UN resolution on the transfer of Syria chemical weapons to international control.
Very good. UN resolution on the transfer of Syria's chemical weapons to international control. Go ahead.
Western powers push for the tough resolution on Assad. Paris, Britain, France, and the United States agreed yesterday on the need for a strong and binding UN resolution on the transfer of Syria's chemical weapons to the international control.
UN resolution. Tough. Like T-U-F-F. Tough. It's spelled T-O-U-G-H, but it's pronounced like T-U-F-F. Tough. Go ahead and sing.
Western powers push for tough resolution on Assad. Paris, Britain, France, and the United States agreed yesterday on the need for a strong and binding UN resolution on the transfer of serious chemical weapons.
Right. Very good.
International control.
Right. Somehow I thought you were finished. My mistake. Mr. Singh is never finished. Right. Western powers push for tough resolution on Assad. Tough resolution on Assad. Go ahead.
Western power push for tough resolution on Assad. Paris, Britain, France, and the United States agreed yesterday on the need for a strong and binding UN resolution on the transfer of serious chemical weapons to international control.
Good, very good. Strong and binding UN resolution on the transfer of serious chemical weapons to international control. Go ahead. Your turn. Now.
Western powers push for task resolutions on Assad's Paris Christians.
Brit. Right, Britain.
Christian friends and the United States and
Agreed.
yesterday on the need for a strong and binding UN resolution on the transfer of serious chemical response to international control.
Serious chemical weapons to international control. Serious chemical weapons to international control. Go ahead.
Western powers push for tough resolution on Assad, Paris, Britain, France, and the United States agreed yesterday on the need for a strong and binding UN resolution on the transfer of serious chemical weapons to international control.
Yeah, very good. Western powers push for tough resolution on Assad. Paris, Britain, France, and the United States agreed yesterday on the need for a strong and binding UN resolution on the transfer of serious chemical weapons to international control. Go ahead.
Western powers push for tough resolution on Assad, Paris, Britain, from France and the United States agreed yesterday on the need for a strong and binding and resolution on the transfer of serious chemical weapons to international control.
Right, very good. Strong and binding UN resolution on the transfer of serious chemical weapons to international control. Next.
No problem.
No problem. We'll see.
Western powers have for thoughts resolution on Assad, Paris, Britain, France, and the United States agreed yesterday on the need for a strong and binding and resolution. On the transfer of serious chemical weapons to international control.
Whoa. Oh, okay. Have a good trip. Very good. Yes, this is UN. Kind of the short for United Nations. United Nations. Sometimes referred to as the UN. So the UN. is the United Nations. You can say strong and binding United Nations resolution or strong and binding UN resolution. So that's the way that goes. Did everybody get a chance to read this? Yeah. Okay. So the Western powers. What are the Western powers? Yeah, France and the United States. There they are right there. They're in Western Europe and in what is referred to as the West. So the powers that be in the West are in France and the United States. They agreed. They all came together yesterday. They came together yesterday with an agreement. They all got along together on the point of that it was necessary. They needed something. What did they need, the Western powers? They needed a strong and binding resolution. UN resolution. You sit down there. When are you leaving to China? This afternoon, 1 o'clock? I didn't get there yet. Wait, I get there. Everybody just take a deep breath, count to 10. Calm down. Okay. They agreed yesterday. They came to an agreement that it was necessary that they have a very strong and binding resolution, or basically an agreement, we are resolved, we are in agreement that we are going to do this or do that. And it has to be strong. It can't be weak. Well, maybe if he wants to, maybe we could have, no. He will, Assad will do this. Not if he feels like it, maybe, no. Strong, 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 and binding. He's got to do it. He can't get away. He can't slip out. He can't get away. He has to do it. Tight. Binding. Yeah, there's no way out.
No way.
Assad can't say, oh, well, I really can't do it. I don't feel good. No, you do it. Strong and binding. No way out. It has to be that way. And they want the United Nations, the UN, to resolve and make the decision and the agreement that that's what will happen. On the idea of transferring Syria's chemical weapons from Syria to international control. That is the control of the United Nations. International control. Transfer. Move them from Syria to the UN control. That is the resolution, and it is strong and binding, and it must be followed. And Britain, France, and the United States have all agreed that that's the way it's going to be. So, that is what's happening right now with the Syria question. Are there any questions about the meanings or the pronunciation? Pronunciation, push. Tough. Difficult. Strong. Hard. Rough. Tough. Not easy. Difficult. We're going to make it tough. We're not going to say everybody just passes the course. No, you have to study and work hard. It's a tough course. Long. Tough. Pronounced like tough. Tough. Very tough. Strong. Rough. He's a tough teacher. Make one mistake and you're out of the class. One mistake, you're out of the class. Whoa. He's pretty tough. One mistake, you're gone. Very tough. Resolution on Assad, who is the president of Syria.
Yes.
The story starts in Paris, where the three countries' officials met. And they agreed, okay, it's necessary, it's required that we be strong and binding, strong and tough. Tough, strong, binding. All the same idea. Yes. Binding. UN, United Nations, resolution, agreement, or decision on the movement of the weapons to international control. Any questions about that?
I wonder, the UN, why don't you put us
Because I don't, because you know why I don't do it? Because it upsets you. If it didn't upset you, I'd do it, but since it gets you going out, no period. Okay, all right.
เนี่ยอันนี้เราสิงคโปร์เลยเราจบไม่ทันไปอะไรนะผูกไปที่แปลว่าการผูกเป็นเชือกผูกมัดเนี่ยจบไม่ทัน
ไทยโนเวย์
So actually, when they print it in the newspaper, they don't use the period. That's all right. You were close. UN. Close. Just don't ever let it happen again.
Ôi cho mày nói cho mày tham gia tràn thả.
แค่กระเป๋าไม่ใช่ที่ว่า
เป็นอย่างนั้น
เมื่อกี้ยังไม่ได้ถามอาจารย์ไหนก่อนรู้สึกร้อนหรือร้อนเลยวันนี้เฮ้ยร้อนไม่ได้27ร้อน25แล้วค่ะดูเลยกันดู24ลงมาก่อน24นะร้อนจะทำถ้าเปิดดูอันนี้ที่ร้อนเลยแฟนอย่างเดียวได้ยัง
คือมีคนเปิดแต่พัดลม
มีเปิดพัดลมอย่างเดียวไม่เย็นใช่ต้องเปิดแต่ลม
Please. They are please.
ขอสักหน่อย
มันซื้อเลยที่ทำมือไหมว่า100ร่วมกันเดี๋ยววันนี้ผมมาแกปากเลยปกติมันไม่เคยเป็นอะไรเฉยแสดงว่าคนนี้มาจากเอาสุด
สาสาลูกค้าไป
ไม่เคยเห็นนะใช่ไหม SPO ที่นั่น SPO เราไม่มีสิทธิ์ที่คือของที่ไปเยอะไปไหนเนี่ยต้องสละสิทธิ์สุพรรณไม่ท่อนแต่ว่าอาวุธเลยอาวุธเคมีที่ตัดสองพันเจนเมื่อวานนี้เจนนิวเจนิเฟอร์
เจนิวบา Geneva. Lalu dia nah kalau dia itu bây giờ nó một trăm là sẽ nó sẽ phim mà trẻ
因为从小呢，并且在说大概是给一边感啊
to the program of the business.
All right.
ชอบคลายแต่ว่า
To continue the story, they, being the Western powers, they agreed that the resolutions must be strong, robust, and set a precise timetable. A spokesman said, the Geneva Accord gives Mr. Assad a week to hand over details of his chemical weapons stockpile and calls for what the United States says, or the U.S. says, are about 45 sites linked to the program to be underway by November. That would be, the United States says, are about 45 sites linked to the program to be underway by November. They, Britain, France, and the U.S., they agreed that the resolution must be strong, robust, and and set a precise timetable, the spokesman said. The Geneva Accord gives Mr. Assad a week to hand over details of his chemical weapons stockpile and calls for what the U.S. says are about 45 sites linked to the program to be underway by November. So they want to hand over details of his chemical weapons stockpile to be handed over and to be underway by November. They agreed that the resolution must be strong, robust, and set a precise timetable, a spokesman said. Go ahead.
They agreed that the resolution must be strong, robust, and set a precise timetable. A spokesman said the Geneva Accord gives Mr. Assad a week to hand over details of his chemical weapons stockpile and calls for what the U.S. says are about 45 sites linked to the program to be underway by November.
Right, very good. The U.S. says are about 45 sites linked to the program to be underway by November. Okay, go ahead.
They agreed that the resolution must be strong, robust, and set a precise timetable. A spokesman said the Geneva Accord gives Mr. Assad a week to hand over details of his chemical weapons stockpile and call for what the U.S. says are about 45 sites linked to the program to be underway by November.
Right. Details of his chemical weapons. It's almost like WEP, weapons. Yeah. It's almost as if there's no A. Weapons. Chemical weapons. Go ahead.
They agreed that the resolution must be strong, robust, and set a precise timetable. A spokesman said the Mr. Assad a week to hand over details of his chemical weapons stockpile and call for what the U.S. says are about 45 sites linked to the program to be underway by November.
Right, very good. The U.S. says are 45 sites linked to the program to be underway by November. So they're going to have to hurry up if they're going to do that. Okay, go ahead.
They agreed that the resolution must be strong, robust, and set a precise timetable. A spokesman said the Geneva Accord gives Mr. Assad a week to hand over detail of his chemical weapons stockpile and call for what the United States say are about 45 sites linked to the program to be underway by November.
Right. The program, i.e. the transfer of the weapons, is to be underway by November. Very good. Go ahead.
They agreed resolution must be strong, robust, and set precise timetables. As spokesman said,
Spokesman said.
The Geneva give Mr. access with to hand over details of his chemical weapons stockpile and call for what the U.S. say are about 45 sites to the program to be underway by
November. Very good. 45 sites linked to the program to be underway by November, September, October, November. Wow, couple months. Go ahead, Fred.
That the resolution must be strong, robust, and set perfect, precise timetable. Spokesman said the Geneva Accord give Mr. Assad a week to hand over details of his chemical weapon stockpile and call for what the U.S. said are about 45 systems. Sites linked to the program to be underway by November.
Right. A week to hand over details of his chemical weapons stockpile and calls for what the U.S. says are about 45 sites linked to the program to be underway by November. A week to hand over details of the stockpile. Details of the stockpile. In other words, where are they? Go ahead.
They agreed that the resolution must be strong, robust, and set up precise timetable. As spokesman said, the Geneva Accord gives Mr. Assad a week to hand over details of his chemical weapons stockpile and calls for what the United States says are about 45 sites linked to the program to be underway by November.
Yeah, very good. They agreed that the resolution must be strong, robust, and set a precise timetable. A spokesman said. Go ahead.
They agree that the resolution must be strong, robust, and set a precise timetable. A spokesman said. Geneva Accords gives Mr. Assad a week to hand over details of his chemical weapons stockpiles and call for what the U.S. say are about 45 sites linked to the program to be underway by by November.
Right. And calls for what the U.S. says are about 45 sites linked to the program to be underway by November. By November. Go ahead.
They agreed that the resolution must be strong, robust, and set a precise timetable.
Continue. Yeah, you can start again. You were interrupted. Go ahead. They agreed.
They agreed that the resolution must be strong, robust, and set a precise timetable. As spokesman said, the Geneva Accord gives Mr. Assad a week to hand over details of his chemical weapons stockpile and calls for the U.S. what the U.S. says are about 45 sites linked to the program to be underway by November.
Right, very good, very good. A spokesman, got an S in there, a spokesman said, they agreed that the resolution must be strong, robust, and set a precise timetable. A spokesman said. Go ahead.
They agreed that the resolution must be strong, robust, and set a precise timetable. A spokesman said the Geneva Accord gives Mr. Assad a week to hand over details of the chemical weapons stockpile and call for what the U.S. says are about 45 sites linked to the program to be underway by November.
Right, very good, very good. They agreed that the resolution must be strong, robust, and set a precise timetable, a spokesman said. See, that you should then pause for a brief, very brief, but a pause, there's a stop. Some places they call, in America this is known as a period, in some other places it's a full stop. But that usually lets me know that you're from England. But anyway, regardless of that, that's a full stop. So a spokesman said. Then, the Geneva Accord gives Mr. Assad a week, etc., etc. Then it would roll on from there. Go ahead.
They agreed that the resolution must be strong, robust, and set a precise timetable. A spokesman said, the Geneva Accord gives me this answer a week to hand over details of his chemical weapons stockpile and calls for what the U.S. says are about 45 sites linked to the program to be underway by November.
Very good, Mr. Singh. Did everybody hear that?
Yes.
Did everybody hear that? That was a very good job.
Read and leave.
Yeah, very good teacher. I like that.
Very good job. Because very good teacher.
Okay. Yeah, read and leave. That's one way to put it. Okay, Mr. Singh.
Yeah, see you tomorrow.
Promise? Promise?
Bye.
Is that a promise? Okay, here we go. The Western powers, Britain, France, and the United States, the Western powers agreed, they all concurred, that the resolution, the decision, about Syria must be strong, robust, or complete and full. It must not be weak and narrow and very, no, it must be strong and full and complete. The resolution. It can't be weak, narrow, and indecisive. No, strong, robust, and set a precise timetable. A timetable would be Monday at 9 o'clock, you do this. Monday at 11 o'clock, you do this. Monday at noon, you do that. And if not, I didn't say 11:05, or I didn't say 12:15. No, I said 11 o'clock and 12 o'clock. Precise. Exactly on time. Not 12:30, not 11:22. No, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. Precise. Precise, exactly on the schedule. The timetable. A list of times that things must be done. Exactly. Precise. Not if I say Monday, you say, well, maybe Wednesday afternoon's okay. Huh? No. Monday, 11 o'clock. Boom. Exactly. Precise timetable. A spokesman. A person designated to speak for a certain group. In this case, the Western powers. It could be a spokesman, a spokeswoman, a spokesperson, but somebody speaking for a group, an organization, a company, or the Western powers. A spokesman.
It means
To speak
it's
for.
mean the person who is representation of the group.
Yeah, in other words, he's been designated by the group, by the company, by the temple to be the spokesperson, the one who speaks for the temple. Designated and official, not somebody off the street that starts, well, I think we ought to do this, that. No. Somebody designated by the group, by the bank, by the company, by the organization to be the spokesman who addresses the press and the media and says, this is what happened. Official spokesman, not somebody pulled in off the street to say, hey, what happened? I don't know. No. Designated spokesman, spokesperson, spokeswoman, depends. But a designated official person, not just somebody that happened to walk in the room and say, oh, no. Designated, official, spokesman. Geneva, Switzerland. We've talked about this before. It's the UN Center in Geneva, Switzerland. It's not the capital of Switzerland. Bern is the capital of Switzerland, but Geneva is the city of the United Nations. The agreement, the accord. An accord, an agreement, an agreed resolution. An accord is in accordance with the rules. In agreement with this. The Geneva Agreement, or the Geneva Accord, gives Mr. Assad, the president of Syria, Assad, 1 week, 7 days, not 2 weeks, not 15 days, 1 week, to hand over, to give up. The details, the precise information about the chemical weapons. The details. Where are they? How many do you have? How long will it take you to find them, to present them, to give them up? What are the details of the chemical weapons? The type of weapons, where they're located, what they're going to be, what you're going to do about it. The stockpile. Well, every Every store has its stocks, its stock, supplies, the supplies. And a stockpile could be something like, this could be the chemical weapons piled up in a certain location. You know, a pile, a stockpile. If you were selling shoes in a store, you would have the shoes on display in front of you, but then you would have in the back room more shoes. You would have a stockpile, more or less. Just a supply that when you sell these shoes, you bring out the other shoes from the stockpile. The stockpile. So they're saying the details of his chemical weapons stockpile, where are they? How many do you have? And calls for what the United States says are about 45 sites. S-I-T-E-S. Same pronunciation as sites. He cites the enemy coming. Sites or locations. A site is a location. What is the site of the temple? What's right here? What? We're on the site right now. The site, where is the site of the Temple of Dawn? Oh, it's right down the river here. A site, a location. In this case, 45 locations or sites. 45 locations or sites. Linked. Linked, what is linked?
Connected.
They're connected, like a link, like a chain. You would have connected. And those 45 locations are connected to the chemical weapons program. Linked to the program. And what about that program? To be underway, to have started by November.
Underway.
Underway. We are underway. If you're on a ship and the ship leaves the port, you are underway. We're going. It's moving. We're underway. Underway. It's a word. Basically, it means that it has started. We are moving.
Start to move. It means start to move.
Yeah. Linked to the program that should be going, that should be moving by November. The program to turn over the weapons must be started by November. It must be underway by November. We're moving, we are underway. Just the way it is. Underway. If you were on a cruise ship and it left the harbor, you would be able to say the cruise is underway. We are moving. We are beginning the cruise. We are underway. Any questions? Stockpile, underway, strong, robust, precise timetable, precise, exactly one time, precise. No questions? Everybody understands everything.
Site, location.
Oh, sites?
Spelling. S-I-T-E-S.
Yeah, site. A site. I'm not talking about vision here. My site, S-I-G-H-T, site. Same pronunciation, different meaning. My sight is not so good. I can't see. Where am I? My sight, S-I-G-H-T, sight, is not so good. My vision, sight, is not so good. Okay, that's one thing. This S-I-T-E, not S-I-G-H-T, S-I-T-E, refers to a location, part of it.
จะมีอารมณ์หมดแล้ว
ลูกหนูนั่งหลังน้อยใจ
เ
ระวังร่วงมาอาจารย์
ไม่หลง
Đi đều, hay đi đều, để ta thìพวกนี้เขียนมือซ้ายก่อนนะคะทุกอย่าง
เขียนสวยด้วยไม่ใช่
สวยมากนี่จะจองต้องมือซ้ายแฟนเราต้องมือซ้าย
Two, put down CPF, aside.
Okay. Rebels battling Assad. Rebels battling Assad fear the international community's new focus on the chemical weapons issue will consolidate his grip on power. Whoa. And put moves to provide them with more support on hold. Rebels battling Assad fear the international community's new focus on the chemical weapons issue will consolidate his grip on power. Whoa. And put moves to provide them, the rebels, with more support on hold. And put moves to provide them with more support on hold. Go ahead.
Rebels battling Assad fear the international community's new focus on the chemical weapons issue will consolidate his grip on power and put moves to provide them with more support on hold.
Yeah, and put moves to provide, remember your B sound, provide them with more support on hold. Go ahead.
Rebels battling Assad fear the international community's new focus on the chemical weapons issue will consolidate his grip on power and put moves to provide them with more support on hold.
On hold. Rebels. Go ahead.
Liberals wrestling others feel the international community's new focus on the chemical response issue with consolidates its grip on hold and push moves to provide them with more support on hold.
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 Remember to finish the word. It is not put on hold. Hold. Hole in the ground. Hole. Hold. No. Hold. Changes the whole meaning of the word. A hole in the ground? No. A hole. Okay, go ahead.
River battling assets via the international community's new focus on the chemical weapon issue will consolidate his grip on power and put moves to provide them with more support and hold.
More support on hold. Rebels battling Assad fear the international community's new focus on the chemical weapons issue will consolidate his grip, Assad, on power and puts them, the rebels, to provide them with more support on hold. Go ahead.
Rebel battling assets fear the international community new focus on the chemical weapon issues will consolidate his grip on power and move to provide them with more support on hold.
Rebels, battling Assad fear the international community's new focus on the chemical weapons issue will consolidate his grip on power and put moves to provide them, the rebels, with more support on hold. Go ahead, Mr.
Combating Assad via the international community new focus on the chemical weapon issue will consolidate its grip on power and move to provide there will move support in order
on hold. Easier with more support on hold. Rebels battling Assad fear the international community's new focus on the chemical weapons issue will consolidate his grip on power and put moves to provide them with more support on hold. Okay, see you.
Rebels battling Assad fear the international community's new focus on the chemical weapons issue will consolidate his grip on power and put moves to provide them with more support on hold.
Yeah, very good. Rebels battling Assad fear the international community's new focus on the chemical weapons issue will consolidate his grip on power and put moves to provide them with more support on hold. Go ahead.
The rebel veterans Assad fear the international community the chemical weapons issue will consolidate its grip on power and push moves to provide them with more support on hold.
Right, very good. Rebels battling Assad fear the international community's new focus on the chemical weapons issue. Go ahead.
Rebels battling Assad fears the international community's new focus on the chemical weapons issue will consolidate its grip on power and put move to provide them with more support on hold.
You have to complete the word, but you don't have to say hold. Just a little bit of a hold. Just to change it from hold, a hole in the ground, to hold something, to hold. It's that little that changes the whole meaning of what you're saying. If you don't have it there, people are wondering, did she mean a hole in the ground or a hole what? And so that's why it's important that all these words, that you always finish the word to make sure that it's understood, that people can understand what you're talking about. Okay, go ahead.
Rebels battling Assad fear the international community's new focus on the chemical weapons issue will consolidate its grip on power and put moves to provide them with more support on hold.
Right, very good. Consolidate. Consolidate. Like we'll almost say date. Consolidate. Consolidate. Okay, well, the rebels. Who are the rebels? Wow. Assad is the president of Syria. Syria is a country in the Middle East that has an army and a government running the country. But, whoa, wait a minute. There's another group. Another group of people have decided that maybe Assad should not be the president of Syria. Maybe his government should not be the government of Syria. They are in rebellion. Rebellion against the government of President Assad. They want to overthrow, to push out Assad and his government. They are known as the rebel army of Syria, or the rebels. The ones in rebellion are known as the rebels. The rebel army is moving toward Damascus. The rebel army is attacking the government. Wow. Rebels are battling or fighting. There's a war going on. Battles are being fought. The rebels are battling Assad. Well, they mean Assad, his army, the government, etc. in Syria. The controlling force, the current regime of Assad is being attacked by rebel forces, the group in rebellion against Assad and his government. So that is the situation at the moment. But the rebels are afraid. They are afraid. They fear to be afraid. I'm afraid of you. I fear you. Fear to be afraid of the international community. The the world powers, the rest of the world, the international community, all the other countries in the United Nations, the international community, Britain, France, England, Russia, boom, 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 all the way to Thailand, everybody. The rebels are fear that the international community's new focus, new look, new focus, new look at something. You focus the camera on the subject that you want to photograph. You focus the camera. You take they're worried about the new look, the new view of the chemical weapons issue, the matter that we are discussing, chemical weapons, the issue. They're afraid that the new look on the issue will consolidate, bring together. The international community's new look could bring together or consolidate Assad's hold or grip, hold on power. Wow. I'm still the guy. I'm in charge. I'm winning. I'm Assad. His grip. To grip something is to hold. Please don't grip my arm like that. It hurts. Ooh, sorry. Consolidate. Bring together his grip on power. Maybe it was slipping. Maybe it was a little loose. Things were starting to slip away from Assad. But the new grip on power because of the new focus. The rebels are worried that the consolidate his grip on power and put efforts by the international community, put the efforts, the attempts by the international community to give or provide, to give them, the rebels, more support, more help, more equipment, more uniforms, more boots, more weapons, more ammunition, whatever it takes to win. They're afraid that it'll strengthen Assad and put the international community's efforts to help them on hold. On hold. What does on hold mean? On hold. On hold.
On trip.
That maybe in your office there's a telephone, you pick it up, oh hi, glad to hear from you, glad to talk to you. Oh, wait a minute, I've got another call. I'm going to put you, click, on hold. In other words, you're on hold, you're like waiting. And what the rebels are worried about, that the international community will put their efforts to help the rebels on hold, at a stop. Wait. I'm on hold. I'm waiting for the person to come back on the line. On hold. The hold button on the telephone of years ago. So they're worried that Assad will get stronger, and now the international community will basically forget about them. She's going to put herself on hold. That's what's on hold is known about. Will consolidate his grip and put them on hold. Any questions about it?
Sure. Upon battling Assad, it means soldier in Assad.
What? Means what?
It means soldier in Assad.
Well, it means that the rebel soldiers, the soldiers of the rebel army, the people against Assad, are fighting Assad's army. They're battling. Boom, boom, boom. The rebels, the soldiers of one side, the soldiers of the rebellion, are fighting the army of Assad's army. And they're afraid that with the new arrangements, the new resolutions, that the international community, they're so worried about the chemical weapons of Assad that they will forget about helping them, the rebels. They will be put on hold. Wait and wait and wait and wait, and nothing happens. The help does not come, and that makes Assad the stronger one. Wow. Any other questions about that? Any other?
I don't understand yet the meaning that moves to provide them with more support. I understand, but on hold, what's the meaning connect with the first sentence to provide with more support? Provide them with more support. I understand, but on hold, I
Still don't get it. Tricky. Well, on hold is an expression that, in other words, you're telling, if I put you on hold, if you understand, I don't know if you remember back when you had a telephone that had buttons on it, and one of the buttons would be hold, where you would be talking to someone, a second call would come in, ring, 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 oh, somebody's trying to reach me. I'm going to have to put you on hold, click, and you would then be waiting for the person to come back and finish the call, the second call, and come back to you. You are on hold. Who are you talking to? No one. I'm waiting for her to come back. I'm on hold. Waiting. So, it would strengthen Assad, and the rebels were worried that it would put efforts to help, moves to provide, efforts to help then the rebels with more equipment on hold. Wait, we'll see if we're going to give you more equipment later, and later, and later. On hold, stop.